All right, let's get started. So, welcome back. I have Sierra Smith here. Today is December 8th, and things are getting busy. The holiday seasons are right around the corner. And today we're going to kind of talk about, though, how do you know if you're on the right track for financial success? So, welcome back, Sierra.
Hey, thanks for having me back. So I was thinking about this question, and my initial response was, or like my gut reaction was just like, well, are you taking action? Right? Like, I think there's a lot of ways to
Hmm.
look at it, mathematically speaking, but behaviorally speaking, I think if you're taking action and not just like stuck in like consuming information and learning about what you need to do, then you're probably getting on the right track.
Oh, I like that. I never even thought about that. Hmm. So, would you say that you are on the right track, or have you always been on the right track, or kind of what changed for you?
I think I'm on the right track now. I definitely was stuck in that, you know, trying to figure stuff out and picking a path and picking a method and just learning, increasing my financial literacy. I don't think I've always been on the right path. I think for the most part, my strategy for a long time was just to avoid debt. And that was going to somehow get me financial success. Like if I could, get a high income position and then avoid as much debt as possible, then I'd probably be good. And I think I've pivoted a long ways from that strategy. So, but a lot of learning came from taking action.
I'm glad you touched on debt, though, because I think that would be kind of my number one kind of determining factors. And it's not so much if you're in debt or because there's good debt, bad debt, but it's understanding debt and what you're comfortable with. I think that's
Hmm.
super important because some people, they don't want any debt at all. Some people, like they say, maybe a mortgages are good debt. So I think that's super important is understanding kind of your relationship with debt. And once you understand that, I think that really helps you put you on the path to financial success. And so that would be kind of my number one thing.
So do you think understanding like debt as a tool and just like the financial tools available to you, like the vehicles for investing or different strategies, do you feel like learning about all of those is necessary before you really decide what to do? Or because I hear you saying like it's almost better to know like what your relationship with money is like and you just kind of lean into what you're good at with money and avoid what you're bad at with money. But if you can be just intellectual about it and just look at it as a numbers game, like you have all of these tools available to you and they're not necessarily good or bad if you can use them correctly.
Yeah, I think that's the camp I fall in. And I think a lot of it is really just understanding yourself, but also kind of like you kind of touched on it. Because I think a lot of people think they're on the path to financial success. But, I think, just putting money in, retirement accounts and saving, a lot of times people don't even know where that money's actually going or what it's invested in or what their returns are. So, yeah, they're putting money away, but they don't really have an idea how that money's being used or where it's going. So, I think having just an understanding of what you're doing, and I think that's really kind of the determining factor if you're on the path for financial success.
And having an understanding of what it's doing in relation to what other options there are,
Mhm.
not just, if you know what you're invested in, but you don't know how that compares to the returns in real estate or in a solo 401k or, different kinds of stocks or just all the different potential returns that you could get, or even if it's hard money lending. Like I feel like if you only know what your money is doing from your um retirement, the person who comes and talks to your company about your retirement plan, then you probably don't have a very big bird's eye view of how investing or saving really works.
Yeah. And you kind of touch on it a little bit. I mean, definitely, credit card debt is probably one of the worst types of debt you can have. However, you hear a lot of people on social media that, in the beginning, they leverage their credit cards to get started or, get on this journey. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but a lot of time they're weighing what the returns are or could be. So as bad as credit card debt may be, their returns that they might be getting somewhere else might be greater. So that's how they're leveraging it. So it's just that understanding also of what your risk profile is. It can help you, down this path to financial success.
Yeah, and I know I've heard a lot of people use credit cards to finance like renovations, and that they can get a card with a home improvement store that might have no interest for 18 months, and that allows you to finance a renovation cheaper than you could roll it into your mortgage even. So there's definitely options, and like I said, it's just a tool in another way. If you have a good relationship with money where you're using it like that, then it's just another potential option to look into. And uh I think really understanding credit cards from not a good or bad perspective, like
Mhm.
that, like they have some inherent trait to them,
Mhm.
but because it's not necessarily debt if you're using it to cover your pay for your regular expenses and then you pay it off. Like that's not, it's just a different way to run your money through another avenue so that you're getting some rewards in return.
Exactly. And that's why I don't know if you're not on X as much as I am, or even I think he's on Graham Stephan, but Dave Ramsey, he's totally right. Does not believe in debt, take out loans and whatnot. And they asked him this hypothetical question, like if someone was to loan you like 10 million or $10 billion interest free, would you take out that loan or would you borrow it? And he said, nope, I don't believe in debt. And they're just like, not even if you interest free and you can put it in treasury bills. And he's like, no, I don't believe in debt. And it's,
Right.
it's, yeah. So it's kind of like you're saying, right? There's little extremes to everything, right? And I know that's his message, not believing in taking out debt, but 0%, what's the risk on that? And you can put it in something very secure like treasury bills and get a return on it.
Mhm.
So, like you said, that's the relationship of understanding money and risk profile. But what would be maybe the next kind of thing that would help you determine if you're maybe on the path to financial success?
So I would say if you're living below your means, like if you have not even necessarily a budget, but if you know that you are expending less than you're bringing in, then that's a good indicator. I think that you're on the right track. Like if you don't let lifestyle creep up and take over, where you're breaking even or doing paycheck to paycheck every month, I think that is a good sign that your behavior's in check and that you understand like there is no money left if you're spending it all every single month. So living below your means would be a big one.
Yep, I agree. I would just add on to that. I think not also just living below your means, but also being able to increase your income or having ways to increase your income so that you're not living paycheck to paycheck. And it's not necessary that you are generating a lot of extra income, but it's just having that mindset that you are capable of doing it or you have an idea of how you would do it again. Like for me, I feel like if everything went wrong and I lost everything, I would have a blueprint on how to get started again. Where maybe five
Mm-hmm.
years ago, I would have no idea. It would just be like, oh, I got to find the job and start getting a paycheck. Where today, I think I would have a lot of different options on what or how I'd want to get started again.
Yeah, I agree with that a lot. Because which I used to get so annoyed when I would hear people on social media say like, stop saving, you just need to make more money. Just go make more money. Like if you can get your income to this number a month, then you'll have money to invest. And I'm like, it is not that easy to just go make money. Like stop
Yeah.
telling me to just go make money. And And I think once I shifted my perspective from like go earn money to go create money, that's really when that started to help. And it's, it's looking around your house and seeing like, is this something I don't touch and what's its value and would someone pay that? And like I could go create that money or that value somewhere and then, pocket it and then I suddenly have like some other income, right? Where I can provide a service rather than like go get employed somewhere. And if someone sees that service as valuable, then I'm creating value somewhere. So I think once I kind of shifted that from like go make more money to like go create value somewhere or see what you have that has value and then see if someone will pay you for that, then it started to get a lot easier to just increase my income.
Yeah, totally agree. Yeah. It's not that easy, but it's just that mindset, I think, that is super important to have you thinking a little bit differently. Yeah.
And once you get started with that mindset or like once you get a little bit of traction, I think it gets easier, which is why it's so easy for people on social media to say like, "Oh, just go make more money," is because they're so used to doing it and like looking at every opportunity as a way that they can increase their income. And it's like once you kind of start looking around for those, you start to see a lot more opportunities to do so and it does get easier, I think, with time.
I like that. I like that opportunity. Yeah. It's funny. Yeah. There's so many things now that I walk past or I look and I'm like, like you're saying, can I sell this or how can I make money off of this or what?
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it just becomes so attached to everything you do because, and it's what you're doing personally. So like, we might be shopping for a truck, right? And we see that like trucks in Oklahoma are cheaper than the trucks that are selling in Tennessee. So then it's like, okay, well maybe I can start flipping trucks. Like I'm gonna start buying them from Oklahoma, driving them up here, and selling them for more. And it's just like every little thing like that. You start to have these ideas, and you probably don't take action on most of them, but it starts to become that mindset, like
Yeah.
you're talking
Yeah.
about, where you look at that opportunity and you're like, oh, I see the value here. And maybe there's a market for it.
Well, that's great that you just brought that up because that's going to be kind of my next thing is like value and even, not necessarily vehicles, but just making big purchases and realizing what's wants and needs and what is important. And, a lot of times people are buying new vehicles or making purchases that maybe at the end of the day they don't really need, right? Like it's like a
Mhm.
lifestyle inflation. And I think you have a old paid off vehicle also. Like my truck is like an '05 Tacoma paid off, almost 200,000 miles. And you know, maybe 5, 10 years ago, I'd have been like, oh, I need a new vehicle, I need this. And now I'm like, oh no, this, gets me where I need to go. And, I don't worry about any scratches or dings on it. And so it's just that, like I said, this is a mindset shift and just understanding wants and needs. I think really that also helps you determine, what path, or if you're on this path for financial success.
Yeah, I agree. And those lifestyle choices are hard. But it's one of those things that, if it does matter to you a lot, then you go get an asset to cover the spending that you want and understanding that something else should be paying for the lifestyle choices that are more wants instead of needs and is obviously a good way to think about it rather than, exchanging your time constantly to afford all of these things that are more on the toy side.
Okay. You have anything else? You have any other, you know,
Oh, let's see. Was there another one? Well, I was gonna say, like, you could, if you want to think about it mathematically speaking, like you could obviously have your freedom number or the number that you would need to be cash flowing every month so that your time is your own again. And you could just work yourself backwards from that to, calculate if you're on the right path to financial success. If you're looking for, $5,000 a month, how, where's your cash flow coming from? Is it just from your W-2 job, or do you have assets that are getting you closer to that number? And, you could work yourself backwards and see, like, what kind of strategies would get you to that number and how quickly you could get there. And you could figure it out that way too. But I feel like it's still more of a mindset and behavior thing, more so than it is a math thing.
yeah. And to add on top of that, I think there's different levels to that also, right? So much people maybe get this, I need, 20,000 a month. Like that's my number. When their, monthly, spending rate is maybe 7K right now. So
Hmm.
like that would be maybe your first target, right? I need to get to this. So if something were to happen, I can cover what I need monthly. And then the next step might be, because this is my financial freedom number. Maybe, it's going to be 12K because now I can stop what I'm doing, focus on another passion maybe, and enjoy freedom a little. So I think there's different
Hmm.
levels to it also, where people kind of stop themselves, where they get this huge number, like I need this before I retire or before I start a new career or whatnot. When actually they're only what their spending rate every month is, and I think that's what people don't realize is they have to budget and figure out what they're spending every month, and that kind of gives you where you can build off of what levels you need to get to.
Yeah. And then, I mean, people don't like to budget because they don't like to see where that money is
Yeah.
going. But it is really freeing if you actually do it. I think once you realize that you have control over where the dollars go and that you're getting a say so in how quickly you get to a financial goal, it gives you a lot more power than, you know, ignoring it. But I know most people do ignore their budgets, but
Yeah.
it's a great. I mean, it is a great strategy just to have awareness over where your money goes, and that's a good step to take, I think, for anyone who's just starting out.
Yeah. I think another important thing is emergency funds. I think that's another big thing where a lot of times oh, what?
I'm just like I'm not very good at this one.
Yeah. Well, I think you have to get to a certain point also, right? And there's this whole debate. Some people look at, like you're talking about, maybe 0% interest credit cards as an emergency fund. Some people, like there's a lot of people in Hawaii, they use their home equity lines as emergency funds because there's such favorable lines of credit products in Hawaii. So, you know,
Hmm.
some people might look at that as being risky, and others are using that as a tool to be their emergency fund if something were to happen. And that's why I always, especially people in Hawaii, I always tell them, hey, just take out a line of credit on your property. It doesn't mean you have to use it, but you do have to be responsible because that funds are available to you. So, and make sure you're not going out and buying, like we're saying, a new truck or a boat or something,
Right.
but make sure
Yeah.
that it's there and available, because if something were to happen and then you have to go try and get it, it might be difficult to get. But if you have it available, then it's there for an emergency. But you got to be responsible with it.
Yeah, if you're using it as an emergency fund because you're living paycheck to paycheck and you can't afford to cover a life something in life that comes up, then that's probably not for the best. But if you're using it so that you can have all of your capital invested somewhere in maybe a more less liquid situation, and so you want to use those lines of credit as your emergency fund, and so that you would have time to liquidate something, then I think it makes more sense because you already are, you just want all of your capital deployed, right? You don't want it sitting on the sidelines. So I think it makes sense in that regard.
Well, do you have anything you want to wrap it up with? I mean, I kind of have one final one, and hopefully you don't steal it. But is there anything you want to wrap up with?
I was at the airport yesterday and a kid was holding, I say a kid, he was like 20 something, but he was holding up a sign that said, give me your best life advice and I'll give you a high five. And the thing that I told him was, just go for it. Taking action trumps everything. And so that's really, I think that applies here to financial success. Like if you're wanting to get on that path, then I think you should just take action.
Okay, I like that. I'm going to add on that. And so not only take action, and it's continue learning. I think that's super important. And just realizing that, even if you have made it to, your financial freedom number, there's always learning. There's always something to layer onto it, add on to it. And that's kind of the thing, right? There's different chapters in everyone's life. There's like, the beginning, growing, and now you're trying to figure out how to preserve your financial success, but you got to constantly be learning. And that's what I was, fell into that trap of. I got very complacent at where I was, and I probably lost out on a lot of opportunities, and So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing and continuing to learn and dabble in new things and continuing to push the envelope and trying to see where I can take this.
Yeah, don't get boxed into what you think you know, and make sure that you're always kind of aware of what's changing. And I like that. And I mean, I enjoyed hearing your story again on Zuber's channel. So if anyone hasn't watched that yet, they should go over to the One Rental at a Time channel and listen to you talk about the mistakes you made and the success that you had, and just kind of how you tackled your journey from the start.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, when we first got on camera, I was like, oh, I'm nervous. I don't get nervous, and I'm nervous because this is like an honor to
Yeah.
be here. And
Yeah.
but yeah, go check it out. It was a lot of fun, and I told Zuber, I hope that someone can learn from all the mistakes that I've made because I've made a lot of my mistakes, and I think that's more my message than anything else. There's a lot of success stories, people done this, done that, but I think for me, it's more just everything I did wrong. I mean, we touched on a lot of it in my interview. We touched on, kind of how I wasn't using equity property, kind of debt equity, how I scaled too quickly, how I jumped into a syndication, doing the whole asset protection structure. And, we didn't even get a chance to touch on it. And we'll even touch on it here a little bit if you have time. But
Yeah.
even like credit score, my credit score has taken a little hit because I was doing some other things I don't know if it's legal to talk about it, but, you can use your credit score to generate extra income, but just randomly I got a credit card shut down. So it's that's going to take a hit to my credit score because it was a credit card that was open for many years and it had a big credit line on it. And the company did a random sweep, and I guess they looked at certain things and decided that this card deserves to be shut down. So out of nowhere they shut it down, and there's no way for me to reopen it. So that's factor into your credit score, right? Length of history, credit utilization, so how much credit you have available. So, so I'm gonna take a little hit to my credit score, and it's a learning curve.
Yeah, I didn't know that. And I'm glad you shared, because uh I mean, it's every little detail, impacts your financial picture. And but you have to take risks, right? And um you have to figure out ways to increase your cash flow, and you have to figure out ways to maintain your financial picture, and depending on what you want to do next. And I know we've talked about this before, but scaling huge isn't your goal anymore. Kind of want that, the way that Dion does it, where you want financial success for as little of a headache as possible, right?
Yes, that's more my goal. I'm gonna let Millennial Mike run with it. He has more hustle in him and ambition. He's younger, so I'll let him roll with that. But I definitely fall more in the Dion camp and Coach Carson, that small and mighty investor mindset where you don't need this huge portfolio to be financially free. And that's kind of where I want to be. And I enjoyed, I mean, it sounds weird, but this whole trying to build a YouTube channel and connecting with you folks, I'm actually having a lot of fun. So that's kind of where my focus is. And I don't know where it's going to end up, but I really enjoy this part of it. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now.
Yeah, I agree. I have that mindset too, where it's like I have these goals financially, and I have, some um deadlines that I've set for myself as far as like getting, stuff done with the properties. But then I have like opportunities come up that are fun, and I'm like, well, I'm not, gonna pass out on this, just or pass on this because I've, set some financial goal. Like, I'm gonna enjoy myself too. And I just give myself that flexibility, right? So I had the chance to like go help a friend with their property that they're renovating, and I have put the renovations on my house like completely off. And I'm just like, I don't I'm gonna enjoy this, and it's well worth the time, like with the people, like you're saying, like building the YouTube channel and like taking the time to do that. It's just more fun and more fulfilling. So I mean, why not?
Yeah, yeah, and then I'm gonna form the Passport Bros one rental at a time, club, and build that out later on. But
Yeah.
That's just,
And you guys
yeah.
are writing books, right? Do I understand that right?
Mikey is like the lead guy because he's already experienced in it. So yeah, but we're all gonna
Well,
meet in
we got
Vegas.
into that on the live, and I learned a little bit about what the passport rows are all about. So very interesting.
It's growing. It's more popular, and there's reasons for it, but
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not saying that you're a reason for it, but just saying
No, no,
there's
I
reasons for
mean,
it.
yeah, it's implied, but you don't have to say it out loud. I need to start a passport gals club.
We just need to get more gals that are, I don't know what the right word, not entrepreneurs, but I don't know what it is. I've reached out to maybe you have to reach out. Maybe they'll feel more comfortable if you reach out and have them on your channel, and then
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know, maybe they don't want to be on camera, some of them, or what. But I'm trying to get people that are, have side hustles and
Mm-hmm.
entrepreneurship and doing other things. I see them all over social media. So I'm like, hey, let's talk about it on my channel. You're doing stuff that I would love to know more about, and just that, they talk about multiple streams of income. So I'm like, oh, that'd be perfect. And they're like, oh, okay. And then I don't hear anything. So I don't know.
Huh.
See, you
Well,
gotta be the point of contact, maybe.
yeah. I'll be like, do you want to be on Mark's channel?
No, I said you have them on your channel, and
Right.
then right. See,
Yeah. Well, you can co-host with me over on my channel when I get some ladies on. I have a hard time
yeah,
even coming across many ladies.
yeah,
The
that's
the
another
last
thing.
couple that I came across said they didn't want to do YouTube because like as a regular thing because they didn't want to have to like look presentable every week to be on camera. And I'm like, well, you don't have to do that for me. Yeah, I don't care. But I
Yeah,
think people just
no
I don't know. I
comment.
think girls in general feel like the need to be put together, but
No
that's not my
comment.
standard.
No, I think, yeah. So I just interviewed another investor from Pittsburgh, female, and yeah, right before she's like, "Is this visual video also?" And I knew probably why she was asking. Like, oh yeah, yeah. But I was just kind of laughing. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
So I
I
think
let
this
that
is
ship
gonna be
sail.
my. I think I decided this is gonna be my new attire, so that way I don't have to think about what I'm wearing. I figured I
You're
can
gonna
just,
wear the same thing every time.
yeah, it's easy. I can just throw it over whatever I have on. Because sometimes I'm rushing home from the station and I gotta jump on something, and I'm just like
Hmm.
shit. And then, so yeah,
See, girls could not get away with that. Someone would comment,
I
she's
do
wearing the
not.
same thing every single video.
Okay, I don't want to start, but
I'm just saying.
who would comment? It wouldn't be guys. It would be another female commenting, right?
Yeah, that's probably true.
See, so that's the thing. I'm not saying you, but
Yeah,
are
me as representing all
are
of, yeah, I mean,
judging
I
each other
wouldn't, but
more often than guys are probably judging you
yeah.
folks.
And I don't
Right.
think anyone on this channel would say something like that, but that's what
Yeah.
goes through a girl's head.
Yeah.
Like
Plus I'm
someone's
trying
gonna
to
call
promote
me
my
out.
friend's clothing line. See, that's what it is.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. And then
Send me one of those shirts and I'll wear it every time.
I was gonna bring some to Vegas. So basically, the Aloha looks upside down, or it is upside down actually, the design, and there's a reason for that. It's so that because when you're looking at it now, it's the right way, so it's across your heart. So when you're reading it, looking down, it's the
Oh,
right way. But
I
the
gotcha.
design itself, yeah. So, yeah, it's a big design in Hawaii, and it's very popular, and a lot of people are buying it. And I usually send it away for Christmas gifts, and like my property managers, I sent some to them, and yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, bring one to Vegas and then I'll wear it every time on the channel.
Sure, bring me some. I don't know,
Yeah, what do you want from
Tennessee
Tennessee?
and whiskey. No, I don't
Yeah, you
know.
can't fly with the whiskey though.
I don't know what else you guys got there.
Uh,
Barbecue.
I mean,
Hmm.
country music and whiskey, that's really what Tennessee is known
I'm a
for.
country music. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, so here's like one of the hats actually.
Oh, nice.
See,
Yeah,
but then
that's
if you
cool.
look at it like this, right?
Yeah, but it's on your head.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But I'm just saying. But that's just, you know what?
That's the
See,
idea. I got it.
yeah. I'm tired
Hey,
of
I was
this.
in merch design for a while.
Well, yes, that's why.
Yeah, I could
Well,
bring you
yeah.
something with my
That,
logo on it.
well, that's why I promoted you. I tagged you in that post the other day
Yeah,
or yesterday.
you did. I shared it on
Support
my story
support your
today.
friends, and you know those. Oh, what is it? Um, stars. Not. I can't even think of the word. They're not gonna know if you buy something from them, right? So
Hmm.
buy from your friends, support from your friends, and you know goes a long way.
Yep. I've sold a few things on Etsy and I don't know, clearing out old stuff that I used to make, I guess. But I didn't make anything new for this holiday season. I've been busy.
It is
Been
busy.
busy spending
Yep.
money.
I just figured out I just had to put my elf on the shelf out, and yep, like I told Joel, I'm gonna find who started this and I'm gonna hunt them down. It's gonna be like, ooh, like Seven, the movie Seven. You're gonna like torture these people. I shouldn't talk about this.
This
I'm
is
gonna
going
find out who
a
started Elf on
dark
the Shelf.
direction for Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah, but yeah, we can talk about that. Your most creative Elf on the Shelf design. We'll get some passport bros conversations going. Maybe the next one. Maybe get Mikey
Hmm.
on. Mikey
Yeah,
and
I would. Yeah, get a couple passport bros on, and I'll just ask you guys questions.
not me. I'm not. A,
Yeah, you are. You're creeping into that camp, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Gotta figure it out. Yeah.
Just get them all on. It'll be like a panel, and I can ask you questions, and then you guys can submit the video to your ladies of interest.
All right. Before I get canceled, well, thank you for coming on again, and this was fun. And yeah, definitely, check out my interview on One Rant at a Time with Michael Zuber. It was a lot of fun, and I think people will learn a lot from all the mistakes I made. And yeah, hopefully you'll get on at some point and talk about your story. And but yeah, we'll do this again.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Thanks. Bye.